The nights in Tehran are no longer quiet. Instead, they're filled with the terrifying sounds of conflict, a constant reminder of the war that's arrived at the city's doorstep. For the millions of residents who call this sprawling metropolis home, sleep has become a luxury that, honestly, few can afford. The sudden, deafening roar of air defense systems erupts without warning, shaking buildings and rattling windows. These explosions are the sounds of interception, the city's desperate attempt to shield itself from incoming Israeli missiles and drones. Each blast, while a sign of defense, is also a confirmation of the immediate danger hanging over their heads, turning the familiar comfort of home into a place of profound vulnerability and fear. While the city's defenses work to intercept threats, the attacks from Israel continue to strike other parts of the country with devastating precision. News reports spread rapidly through the anxious population, detailing strikes on sensitive locations like the nuclear research facility in Isfahan. Though officials assured the public that no hazardous materials were released, the very idea of a nuclear site being targeted sends a chill through the entire nation. Even more alarming are the attacks on residential areas. In the holy city of Qom, an airstrike hit a civilian building, tragically killing 2 people, one of whom was just a teenager, and injuring several others, shattering any illusion that these strikes were limited to military targets. This relentless campaign has created a deep sense of unease that really permeates every aspect of daily life. The constant threat of an attack has transformed the bustling rhythm of the capital into a nervous, watchful quiet. Parents are afraid to send their children to school, and many businesses operate on shortened hours, if they open at all. The psychological toll is immense, as every distant rumble or unexpected noise can trigger a wave of panic. People find themselves constantly checking the news, scanning the skies, and living in a state of high alert that is emotionally and physically exhausting for everyone involved. The belief that civilians are being deliberately targeted is growing stronger with each passing day. The official statements from Israel claim that their objectives are strategic, intended to set back Iran's military and nuclear capabilities. However, for the people on the ground, the reality feels very different. When a residential building is destroyed and a family is torn apart, it becomes impossible to see the strikes as anything other than an attack on ordinary people. This perception fuels a potent mix of fear and indignation, as citizens feel they are paying the highest price in a conflict they did not choose, caught in a dangerous power struggle far beyond their control. The unceasing threat of missile strikes has sparked a significant migration away from Tehran, a city that was once a beacon of opportunity and culture. Families who have lived in the capital for generations are now making the difficult decision to pack their belongings and leave everything they know behind. The choice is a heartbreaking one, driven by the primal need for safety. Neighborhoods that were once vibrant and full of life are slowly emptying out, leaving an eerie silence in their wake. Cars loaded with suitcases and personal belongings have become a common sight on the highways leading out of the city, each vehicle representing a family gambling on an uncertain future for a chance at peace. This mass departure from Tehran is placing an enormous strain on the smaller towns and villages in the surrounding regions. These communities, with their limited resources and infrastructure, are suddenly overwhelmed by the influx of people seeking refuge. Housing has become scarce, and prices for rent and essential goods have skyrocketed, creating tension between the longtime residents and the newcomers. Schools are struggling to accommodate the extra students, and local services are stretched to their breaking point. What began as a crisis for the capital is now rippling outwards, creating a new set of challenges for the entire province as it struggles to cope with the displaced population. For the families on the move, the journey is fraught with uncertainty. Many leave without a clear destination, relying on the kindness of relatives or the hope of finding temporary shelter in a safer area. They are trading their established lives, jobs, and social networks for the precarious existence of an internally displaced person. The emotional cost of this upheaval is profound, particularly for children who are uprooted from their friends and familiar surroundings. The stability of home has been replaced by the instability of the road, and the future feels more fragile than ever as they travel away from the immediate danger but towards an unknown fate. The empty streets and shuttered shops in parts of Tehran tell a story of a city in distress. The departure of so many residents has not only changed the social fabric, but has also had a significant economic impact. The city's once thriving economy is slowing down as businesses lose both their employees and their customers. The vibrant pulse of Tehran has weakened, replaced by an atmosphere of anxiety and abandonment. Those who remain behind look upon the exodus with a mix of understanding and sadness, knowing that each family that leaves is another sign of how deeply the conflict has wounded the heart of their nation. Beneath the pervasive fear, a powerful sense of anger is taking root among the Iranian people. This is not just a quiet frustration, it is a loud and visible outrage directed at what they see as a brutal and unjust assault on their country. The narrative that the Israeli strikes are surgical and aimed only at military installations is widely rejected on the streets of Tehran. Instead, people point to the civilian casualties, the destroyed homes, and the terrorized communities as clear evidence that ordinary citizens are the true targets. This shared belief is galvanizing public opinion, transforming personal anxiety into a collective demand for justice and an end to the violence. In a remarkable display of resilience, this growing anger has not fractured society, but has instead forged a strong sense of solidarity. In the face of external aggression, Iranians from different walks of life are coming together, united by a common cause. This unity is most powerfully expressed in the large demonstrations that have erupted in Tehran and other major cities across the country. Thousands of people have taken to the streets, waving national flags and chanting slogans that protest the Israeli attacks. These gatherings are a defiant statement that the spirit of the people will not be broken by fear or intimidation. The protests serve as a crucial outlet for the public's pent-up emotions, allowing them to voice their grief and anger in a collective setting. It is a way of showing the world and each other that they are not passive victims. In these moments, the individual fear of a missile strike is replaced by the strength of a shared identity and purpose. People find comfort and courage in standing side by side with their fellow citizens, reaffirming their national pride and their determination to endure. The demonstrations are a testament to their refusal to be silenced, even as the threat from the skies continues to loom over them. This surge of solidarity extends beyond the organized protests and into the fabric of everyday life. Neighbors are checking in on one another, sharing resources and offering emotional support. Strangers help each other in the aftermath of an attack, clearing debris or providing aid to the injured. There is a palpable sense that, we are all in this together. This grassroots unity is a powerful counterbalance to the chaos and destruction of the conflict. It is a quiet but firm declaration that while their cities may be under attack, their humanity and commitment to one another remain intact and unshaken. While its cities endure daily attacks, the Iranian government is attempting to navigate a treacherous path between diplomacy and retaliation. Officials have made it clear that they wish to keep channels for negotiation open, seeking a diplomatic resolution to de-escalate the spiraling conflict. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has been actively meeting with European counterparts in Geneva, signaling a willingness to talk. However, Iran's position is firm. It will not negotiate under duress. The government insists that as long as Israeli strikes continue to hit Iranian soil, it has no choice but to respond in kind to defend its sovereignty and its people. This dual-track approach reflects the immense pressure Iran is under. On one hand, engaging in diplomacy is essential to prevent the conflict from escalating into a full-blown regional war, which would have catastrophic consequences. On the other hand, the government must project strength and resolve to its own population, which is demanding a strong response to the attacks. This creates a delicate balancing act where every diplomatic overture must be matched with a show of military capability. Iran continues its retaliatory missile strikes against Israel, demonstrating that it will not back down, even while it leaves the door to talk slightly ajar. Despite the dire circumstances, a resilient sense of hope persists among the people of Tehran. It is a quiet hope, one that is visible in the small acts of normalcy that defy the chaos. Shops reopen after a nearby strike, families gather for meals, and children find moments to play in parks, their laughter a brief but beautiful rebellion against the fear. This determination to continue living is not a sign of denial, but a powerful form of resistance. It is a way of asserting that life, in all its simplicity and richness, will not be extinguished by violence. People are holding on to the belief that this nightmare will eventually end. Ultimately, the story of Tehran today is one of human endurance in the face of unimaginable adversity. The people are caught between the geopolitical ambitions of powerful states, yet they continue to find ways to support one another and hope for a future free from the sound of explosions. They dream of a day when their children can sleep peacefully through the night, and when the skies above their city are once again a source of beauty, not terror. This enduring hope, coupled with their remarkable solidarity, is the truest measure of their strength as they navigate the darkest of times, waiting for the dawn of peace.